Hello everyone, I am C.S. Chitra Sridhar, Assistant Professor in Sage School of Commerce. Today, in this video, I would be explaining about hypothesis and its types. Now let us quickly look into the slide given about hypothesis. So how do we define a hypothesis? A hypothesis is an assumption, an idea that is proposed for the sake of an argument so that it can be tested to see if it might be true. So we can say that hypothesis is an assumption or a tentative proposition which is taken to be true based on limited evidence for the purpose of argument or investigation. So hypothesis is not something which is real. Rather, it is an assumption that we make or a tentative proposition that we make, and we assume it to be true so that we can proceed with the research, or we can try to argue or investigate something. Let us quickly take an example for the same. If I say that A has committed a crime and I try to lodge an FIR. So, here what I am trying to do? I am trying to lodge an FIR and I am stating that A has committed a crime. So here I am taking it as a hypothesis. It is not proven as of yet that A has actually committed a crime. But to prove it, we need to take some sort of hypothesis, or we need to assume that A might have created a crime or caused a crime, and now on the basis of that we will try to prove it in the court of law. So this is hypothesis. Next, let us very quickly discuss the different types of hypothesis that exist. The first one is simple hypothesis. So what is a simple hypothesis? It is a hypothesis where exists a relationship between two variables. For any hypothesis, there exist at least two variables. In a simple hypothesis, there will be only two variables. One would be dependent variable and the other would be independent variable. Okay? So, if I say that optimism keeps mind healthy. So, I am taking it as an example that optimism keeps mind healthy. Here, optimism is one variable and keeping mind healthy is another variable. Which one is dependent? Keeping mind healthy is dependent. Optimism is an independent variable. So there exists a relationship between both of them. So it is simple hypothesis. Next one is complex hypothesis. What is a complex hypothesis? We discussed simple hypothesis just now. So what is the difference between simple and complex hypothesis? In simple hypothesis, there are only two variables, one dependent, one independent. In complex hypothesis, there are multiple variables. There are not just two variables, there will be multiple variables. There could be two or more dependent variables, there could be two or more independent variables, and then there would be relationship between all of them. So this is complex hypothesis. Let us quickly discuss an example. If I say that optimism, balanced diet and exercise keeps mind and body healthy, you will notice that there are three variables: optimism, balanced diet and exercise, which are independent variables, and I am saying that it will keep mind and body healthy. Again, two dependent variables. If you will be optimistic, if you will follow balanced diet and regularly exercise, what will be the effect? That the mind and body will be healthy. So this is complex hypothesis. The next one is empirical hypothesis. What is empirical hypothesis? A theory that is based on previous experiments or past observation. So we can say that empirical hypothesis is completely based on evidence, observation and experiment. Let's quickly take an example. If I say that study the cause and effect of a particular drug on controlled group, that means we are talking about evidence, observation, experiment. So it is empirical hypothesis. Next one is statistical hypothesis. What is a statistical hypothesis? A test or a method of statistical inference used to decide whether the data sufficiently support a particular hypothesis. Anything that can be statistically verified can be said to be a statistical hypothesis. For example, if I say, let us do a research on unemployment rate in the year 2020. So how will you do that research? You will certainly take some sort of statistical survey or something and try to find out what was the exact unemployment rate in that year. So it is statistical hypothesis. Next one is causal hypothesis. What is causal hypothesis? A prediction that one variable can cause a particular outcome or event. So there is cause and effect relationship. If I say that effect of exercise on heart rate, so we are talking about the effect that exercise will have on our heart rate. So there is some sort of cause and again an effect relationship. You will exercise, your heart will remain healthy. So doing exercise is one element and the heart rate is the effect. So this is cause and effect relationship. Next one is non-directional hypothesis. What is non-directional hypothesis? It does not predict the exact direction or nature of the relationship between the two variables. Say teacher-student relationship affects students' learning. Exact direction is not shown in this statement, so it is non-directional hypothesis. Next is directional hypothesis. The name itself says that it is about a certain direction. It specifies the expected direction to be followed to determine the relationship between two variables. If I give an example, that better instructional methods in class leads to better students learning. So that means if proper and good instructional methods are shared in the class, it will lead to better students learning. So this is directional hypothesis. Next is null hypothesis, very important. What is null hypothesis? It is a hypothesis in statistics which states that there is no difference between two variables. There exists no relationship between the two variables. Dependent and independent variable does not exist. So if I give you an example that not doing exercise will not have any impact on lifespan. That means if you exercise, good. If you don't exercise, that is also fine, because it does not have any impact on the lifespan of an individual. So there is absolutely no relationship between doing exercise and lifespan of an individual. There is hardly any difference. There is absolutely no relationship. Now it is an hypothesis. I am not stating that not doing exercise would be okay for an individual. It is just an example for your understanding. The last one is alternate hypothesis. What is alternate hypothesis? Opposite to the null hypothesis that we discussed just now. Now alternate hypothesis defines that there is statistically important relationship between two variables. What is it? It specifies that there is difference between two variables. What difference? What kind of difference? Let us take an example. If we say that not doing exercise will reduce lifespan of an individual by 10 years. Certainly there is some sort of relationship between the two variables. If you will not exercise regularly, your lifespan will be reduced by 10 years. And if you exercise regularly, your lifespan will be good. You will have another 10 years to live. So there is relationship between both the variables. So these are the different kinds of alternate hypothesis, and I hope I was able to clear the concept very well through this video lecture. Thank you, and stay tuned for more videos with respect to research methodology. Thank you.